6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. New Cabinet of Ministers to be sworn in today. The President to prorogue Parliament for 24 hours. Saman Ekanayake has been appointed as the Secretary to the President. The UN acknowledges a constitutional transfer of power in Sri Lanka. US-UK envoys express support for President. Over 3 million vehicles have been registered under the fuel pass system so far. News overseas, Russia moves to shut Jewish agency in Ukraine rift. In sports, cricket, Pakistan fast bowler Shaheen Shah Afridi has been ruled out of second test against Sri Lanka. And those are the headlines. A new cabinet of ministers will be sworn in today at the Prime Minister's office in Kollapitiya. According to the President's media division, the swearing-in ceremony is scheduled to commence at 9 a.m. Newly elected President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was voted in by Sri Lanka's parliament to the office of president vacated by his predecessor Gotabaya Rajapaksa, took oath last morning at the parliament complex. Accordingly, a new cabinet of ministers will be formed under administration of President Wickremesinghe. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has decided to prorogue Parliament for 24 hours. President Wickremesinghe, after taking oath as the 8th Executive President of Sri Lanka last morning in Parliament, met with party leaders. Accordingly, the President has informed the party leaders that he will prorogue Parliament for a fresh sitting. Yesterday, after the parliamentary vote to elect the succeeding President, Speaker of House Mahinda Abeyewardene announced that Parliament will reconvene on Wednesday, the 27th of July. However, following the announcement by the President, a gazette notification will be issued summoning Parliament. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Saman Ekanayake has been appointed as the Secretary to the President. The appointment was made by the newly elected President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Ekanayake previously was the Secretary to the Prime Minister when Ranil Wickremesinghe was serving as the Prime Minister until Gotabaya Rajapaksa stepped down from the presidency. He has also served as the Secretary to the Prime Minister 3 times before that, between 2015 and 2019, when Wickremesinghe was in office as the Premier. The United Nations has acknowledged the constitutional transfer of power to a new president in Sri Lanka. UN Resident Coordinator Hannah Singer, in a tweet, said, "Now is the time for all stakeholders to engage in broad and inclusive consultations to resolve the current economic crisis and the grievances of the people." The US Ambassador and the British High Commissioner to Sri Lanka have expressed their support to Sri Lanka and willingness to work with the new President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The US Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, said that the US looks forward to working with new President Ranil Wickremesinghe to create a stable economic and political future for Sri Lanka. The pilot project towards enforcing the national fuel pass system from Monday, the 25th of July, is now being trialed till Sunday at filling stations operated by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation. Minister of Energy Kanchana Wijesekara said the pilot project will be conducted in multiple locations in Colombo over the next 3 days based on the last digit of the number plate. Accordingly, the vehicles with number plates ending with 012 can obtain fuel on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Vehicles with number plates ending with digits of 3, 4 and 5 can obtain fuel on Thursdays and Sundays, and vehicles with numbers 6, 7, 8 and 9 on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. The Secretary General of the Parliament, Dhammika Dasanayake, has informed the Chairman of the Election Commission in writing that a vacancy has arisen due to the swearing-in of the Member of Parliament, Ranil Wickremesinghe, as the President. The Secretary General has also mentioned that Ranil Wickremesinghe has informed him in writing that since he assumed duties as the President of the country, the resignation will be effective from today, from yesterday, the 21st of July 2022. A new MP from the United National Party will be appointed in place of Ranil Wickremesinghe. And that's local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Little Gas expects the gas shortage issue to be resolved by the end of this month. Little Chairman Mudita Piri said further gas shipments are scheduled to arrive in the country this month. He said that around 6 to 7 gas shipments are expected in Sri Lanka by the end of July. The chairman said that the company has been able to secure the required US dollars to import the gas. And that was top news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Information and Communication Technology Agency requests the public to obtain the Fuel Pass registration or QR code only through the www.fuelpass.gov.lk, the official portal introduced by the government to issue the National Fuel Pass. ICTA said complaints have been received about unauthorized websites that try to collect personal information. The agency requested the public to be aware of the scams and requested to use only the government-introduced web portal for registration and obtain the QR code, and that was Flashlight. And moving on to world news, the headlines. Russia moves to shut Jewish agency in Ukraine rift. Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi resigns after a week of turmoil. Baidu unveils new self-driving taxi in China. And those are the headlines of the world news. Russia's Justice Ministry has gone to court in a bid to shut down the Russian branch of the Jewish agency, which organizes Jewish immigration to Israel. The case at Moscow's Besmany District Court concerns unspecified legal breaches. A hearing is set for 28th July. Israeli media has reported a surge in the numbers of Russian Jews arriving to settle in Israel this year. A year and a half after he was appointed as Italy's unelected head of a unity government, Mario Draghi has resigned as Prime Minister. He told President Sergio Mattarella he was standing down after 3 parties in his government refused to back him in a confidence vote the night before. The president asked him to remain as caretaker leader, and early elections are expected this autumn. Chinese technology giant Baidu has unveiled the next vehicle to join its self-driving taxi service, Apollo Go. It says its new model, the Apollo RT6, has the road skills of a driver with 20 years experience. Under Chinese regulation, the autonomous cars currently still require a safety driver's presence. And that's world news. And moving on to development news, Hema's consumer brand signed a memorandum of understanding with Clean Tech Private Limited recently to ensure the responsible disposal of plastic waste. As part of the project, plastic litter left behind at public events and public spaces will be collected and recycled as the partners work together to conserve the environment. That was development news.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Pakistan fast bowler Shaheen Shah Afridi has been ruled out of the second test against Sri Lanka in Galle that begins on Sunday. The PCB said in a statement that Afridi suffered a knee injury during the 4th day of the first test that Pakistan won by 4 wickets. And that was Sports News.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka stocks gained for a 5th consecutive session on Thursday, yesterday, on hopes of political stability under the new President Ranil Wickremesinghe as months-long protests showed signs of easing, brokers said. The main all-share price index closed 0.31% or 24.29 points up to 7,736.37, its highest close since June 4th. The market, after opening over 1% stronger, consolidated in the first hour of the trade yesterday. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The central bank requests bank loan borrowers to apply to a concession scheme it has introduced to businesses adversely affected by the ongoing economic crisis who were already aggravated by the COVID-19 pandemic before July 31st. Affected borrowers must apply to the concession in writing or through electronic means on or before July 31st, 2022 to their respective banks. And that was economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Finally, in the weather report, the Met Department forecasts several spells of showers to occur in the Western Province and in Galle and Matra districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere during the afternoon or night. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabragambo, Central and Uvo provinces. And that was weather report. And to wind up the news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. New cabinet of ministers to be sworn in today. The President to prorogue Parliament for 24 hours. Saman Ekanayake has been appointed as Secretary to the President. The UN acknowledges the constitutional transfer of power in Sri Lanka. US-UK envoys express support for President. Over 3 million vehicles have been registered under the fuel pass system so far. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.